Hello everyone, my name is Pixlriffs. For today's tutorial we're going back to focusing on detail, and I hope you're ready to rock out with your note block out, because today I'm going to show you how to set the stage for your very own Minecraft rock concert. So I'm going to focus on two elements of this stage today because they are the more complicated elements. The rest of it is all fairly simple to look at. If you look at the keyboard over here, you've got 3 trapdoors, 2 anvils, and daylight sensors across the top. It's pretty simple. You'll notice that the trapdoor there is standing by itself because we're working in the 1.9 snapshots here, but with a couple of alterations, all of these designs will work in 1.8 or earlier versions, provided you're not going to use the armor stands. The guitar amplifier and bass amplifier are pretty much just 4 note blocks arranged in a square with some item frames and circular items on the front. I've got trapdoors on the back to make it look like they have a speaker cabinet. Same over here, except this one has a lever on the side which directs redstone current into 2 redstone components to look like guitar pedals, and this armor stand over here is just resting on a trapdoor with an iron fence pushed down through the middle of it so it looks like a guitar stand. Now the mic stand, oh, I just fell off the stage. The mic stand is something a little bit more complicated, so I'm going to quickly show you how to do that one. First of all, you want to take a piston. You want something to activate the piston with. You need a slab of your choice. I'm going to use a stone slab for this example. You want an armor stand, a fence, any fence will do, and last of all a redstone torch. So what you want to do is dig a hole a couple of blocks deep like so, place a piston on there, place your slab on there, and the spruce fence is going to be on top of it. The armor stand is going to drop on top of the fence there and is going to come to rest nicely there. Now you're going to place a block of redstone next to that to activate it. That's going to push the armor stand up and the fence up as well, deactivate the piston, and then replace the stone slab there so the armor stand falls through. You're going to be able to put the redstone torch on top of the fence once that is done, and then you'll be able to reactivate the piston to push the block back into place, and there you go, you have a mic stand complete. Now this is obviously going to have to rest either 1/2 block up or 1/2 block down on your stage, but it's going to look pretty good for your singer to be up there. Personally, I think it looks better if you have it a 1/2 block down, because that way it's kind of eye level or mouth level with your character, so you look a little bit more like you're performing into the microphone. So the drum kit has a lot of different components. I'm not going to name them all right up front, but you will get to see which materials I'm using as we go. We're going to start off with some birchwood logs, and you're going to be facing either north or west when you do this, for reasons I will explain in a minute. We're going to start off by placing a block there and a block right next to it so that it can be on its side, and I'm using birchwood here because that's the one that looks most like the kind of outer shell of a bass drum. We're also going to place one here to look like a side tom, and then we're going to come back in here. We're going to grab a piston and this lever here, and now the reason for facing either north or west is so that the lever, when it's not active, faces this way, and when it's activated, it pushes in towards the bass drum. If you're facing east or south when you place the lever, it's going to be in the opposite configuration, and that's not what we want, because if you dig a hole here and place the piston there, when you activate the lever, that's going to come up out of the ground, and that's what we're going to use as our drum stool. Grab yourself a black carpet, throw that down on top of there, and it's going to look fantastic as a drum stool. Next up, we want to arrange the cymbals around the outside. I'm also going to grab a painting, an item frame, and a tripwire hook, because the item frame can go on the inside of the bass drum, and add the tripwire hook in the middle there, and it will look like there's actually a beater hitting the skin of the bass drum. Around the front, you're going to want to put the painting on the front there, and you can choose whichever painting you like of the smaller ones, but that's going to look like your bass drum at least has like a band logo on it or something like that. Next up, we're going to add an oak fence here. We're probably going to add another one on top of that as well. We'll add iron bars here to make it look like the bass drum is connected to the side tom, and then we'll place an oak fence on top of that one. Now this is the fun part where you get to add cymbals, and we're going to use 2 gold weighted pressure plates like so on top of there, and they're going to be the cymbals. Alternatively, if you have yellow carpet in your inventory and you want to use the iron fences, then you won't be able to place a pressure plate on top of an iron fence, so you'll have to make do with yellow carpet. But personally, I think the weighted pressure plates look the best, so I'm going to return that back to the state in which it was. The next stage, you'll notice I'm not putting a snare drum in this, by the way, so the kit is not entirely accurate to what it would be in the real world, but I feel like this looks the most realistic to scale when you're dealing with like a stage setup like this. The next thing you want to do with this is set up a hi-hat, and the hi-hat is actually quite an important component of a drum kit, so it's important that we have one here. This is a little bit more complicated and requires basically the same technique as we just did with the microphone stand. You're going to dig a hole down here, you're going to place a piston down there, and you're going to activate it with a redstone block, which I'll quickly grab out of the creative inventory like so. I need to make sure that it's pushing up to there so it can place a block at ground level or at stage level if you're building this on a stage. So what you want to do is put an armor stand. Oh, you need to put a fence here first. Where is the fence? We're going to use a nether brick fence for this, and the reason for that is that the nether brick fences and the wooden fences don't connect. Now, this is very important because the hi-hat has to look like a standalone thing. Now, we're going to put a block under there. We're going to add the nether brick fence on top of that. We're going to put the armor stand here at an angle and activate the piston. There we go, and then that's going to push the grass block up there. Take out the redstone block, replace the grass block there, and then take out the block underneath the fence. The fence will stay where it is, but the armor stand will fall down, and then we can put a pressure plate on top of that so that when we push it back up with the piston, the armor stand goes up through the pressure plate. You won't be able to do this any other way. You've pretty much got to do it exactly the way I just did, but that will basically make it look like the hi-hat has a kind of clamp like they do in real life, and your drum kit is pretty much complete. All you need to do is add in a cowbell because, as I'm sure you'll know, it always needs more cowbell, and that is the drum kit complete. Now, the cool thing about these designs is it is super customizable. You can basically make them look however you like. If you want to add a ton more symbols around the outside, feel free. These are just a couple of designs I threw together, and feel free to experiment with the stage as well, because the stage is absolutely a creative environment. You can do whatever you want on here. I would love to see some pictures of this if you want to share them with me on Twitter, if you're making this in your own world. That's going to be it for today. Thank you very much for watching. My name has been Pixlriffs. Please leave a like on this video if you enjoyed it, subscribe to my channel if you want to see more, and I'll see you guys soon. Bye for now. So we're going to do that right now. I'm going to pop an armor stand in there. The machine's going to activate. It fires up. All of the armor gets equipped at once, and then the machine deposits it on this kind of conveyor belt we've got here with a water course, ending in this location here, and it's not going to do anything once it's there.